Hi friends, in Planet Earth Dating, it's Saturday, July 4th, 2015. Ra, Asha, and Pan here in the Lynn-Body-Mind. Fritz, Black Wolf, and Betty Jean in the Jamie-Body-Mind, other teammates in other dimensions.
That's true.
We believe that our assignment for the videoed portion of our work today is to go back in time and find the original meetings where the original errors were made that exempted non-physical beings from the cycles of reincarnation after they had reached a certain point in their evolutionary process. We believe that to be a huge mistake.
That's true.
And we know that all errors can be corrected. What matters is that we acknowledge them as soon as they're identified as errors, take corrective actions to undo the harm that we have done with that error, and to correct the error energetically.
It's true.
It's possible the assignment is something else entirely, in which case this session will take a different turn. But as always, our foundational background awareness and intention is to do what is ours to do in all dimensions right now to trigger the awakening right now. And with that, it begins. My attention is again drawn to that room with the Tinker Toy model.
That's true.
And that super smart night janitor who's a lot more than a night janitor.
That's true.
He just took that job so that he could be there observing. And my story is so that he could be there observing what these people, these higher dimension beings are doing with this Tinker Toy model.
That's true.
And he has begun to dismantle it.
Yes.
And because just taking it apart, section by section, he can look at this section and see this section doesn't work. And so he takes that off and takes it down into its component parts, and he sees, and that
this
section also doesn't work, and he takes it apart. And this section doesn't work, and that section doesn't work, and this section doesn't work, and that section doesn't work. On and on and on and on.
That's true.
And now he's only down to some tiny little remaining part.
That's true.
And he's saying, but this doesn't work here, and he takes out another piece. And that
this
also doesn't work. And that doesn't work.
That's
and
true.
that connection makes no sense. And then if I take this apart,
and
then
now
they're
it's
all just
apart.
component parts.
That's true.
All right then. Completely apart. And
That's
so
true.
he's sorted everything into, it looks like to me, little plastic bins.
That's
and
true.
The short yellow pieces are here, and the long red pieces are here, and all the other, and the connector pieces are over here.
That's true.
And then there's this one black piece that's
true.
all by itself, and it doesn't have anything else that's similar to it.
That's true.
What do I know? I know that all day long you've been giving us messages about how it doesn't work for a single solo piece, that it's excruciatingly difficult to maintain awareness.
That's true.
For example, with the 1,500 souls who were part of that experiment a couple nights ago,
Yes.
about 200 remain. 1,300 ballpark have, in less than 24 hours, were bounced in and bounced back out.
That's true.
Which made it a lot worse, not better.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And that the other 200 are still here, but they have drowned and forgotten who they were.
That's true.
Making it worse, not better. Basically proving a point that was made sometime within this last week. The koan is that the non-physical support structure is here to support the physical. There isn't any other purpose of a non-physical support structure.
That's true.
And that by coming into the physical dimension, the non-physical beings make it worse because they lose their focus right away and forget what they're doing and are a hazard on the course.
That's true.
And by staying out of the physical, non-physical dimension beings make it worse because there's a feeling of disconnect between physical and non-physical.
That's true.
And so that's the koan. The assignment is to make it better, and yet by coming in we make it worse,
And by staying out we make it worse. That's true.
Team Awakening's answer to the koan is, take it down. It is broken. It is irreparably broken.
It's true. Take apart all the pieces.
Take apart
Start
all
over.
the pieces and start over.
That's true.
And now we see how this really genius person
That's true.
has taken apart the Tinker Toy model.
That's true.
Now let's attempt to integrate the energy of this takedown into the allness. And nothing might happen, but let's start to tune the allness to the reality, which is that the Tinker Toy model has been taken down into its component parts. And we see how those were wise elders who were trying to build that Tinker Toy model.
That's true.
They were trying to make something that would work.
That's true.
They weren't able to put it together in a way that worked on the first several tries. I'm being shown the films, and they tried, and they had lots of pieces that didn't fit, and then
That's
they took
true.
it apart, and then they tried again, and they had fewer pieces that didn't fit, and then they took it apart.
That's
And
true.
they tried 10, maybe 20, maybe times, 10
Yeah,
or 20
that's true.
times.
Maybe 20 times.
And then this was by far the closest they had been able to come.
That's
Well,
true.
we only have one piece
piece.
that isn't used.
That's true.
And then, of course, they made the mistake, which was to cross their fingers, pretend that that wasn't against the rules, and just barrel on
That's true.
regardless, when quite clearly they were supposed to say, all right, we're almost there, let's
That's
try
true.
again, let's try again, come on,
That's
we
true.
can do it. I believe it to be universal.
All of
Stopping
us.
too soon.
That's my story.
Raise your hand. So let's correct the error of stopping too soon for all of us right now. Run it up through our own
All of us,
spines.
for all of us.
Owning it. Look how many times I stop too soon, and then I get to have the lesson presented to me again because I stopped too soon.
That's
Creating
true.
more work for my guides and a much more painful experience for myself.
That's true.
I see how there are probably many errors that have added on to the original error.
Yes, that's true.
And we have the opportunity of correcting many errors.
That's true.
Han is saying he really likes correcting errors. He learns so much from
That's
correcting
true.
errors. He gets to see what the error was. Is the toll booth bar up? Can we leave the
I
Tinker
feel
Toy room and
for
go
it.
farther back? Blackwell.
Yes.
Have you found something farther back, an error farther back?
Yes. There's a meeting underground in a basement.
Oh, way down.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's also feels like that feeling of good people trying to do the right thing and feeling like they have exhausted their options. So let's go to it.
All right, all of us together.
Everyone in. So it looks like an earthen basement, and there are people sitting around a table, and they feel like they've exhausted all their options. They have them all laid out on the table, and there's a feeling of kind of frustration.
Talk about the people.
Maybe 3 male, 2 female. I would say older. And the feeling in the room is a feeling of
Despair.
yes. It's like they had been working with feelings of frustration, and just now it's moving into feelings of despair.
There's no point in continuing on.
And they're actually asking, like, if none of these plans work, which we feel we've proven that they don't work. And they're all looking at them. Everyone's going, yeah, that one didn't work. That was a disaster. That was a disaster. And like putting them in a pile.
Right, so now they're getting the message of there's no point in continuing on, but watch how they misinterpret the message. And so what they do is pack up their meeting and walk out.
Right.
Well, now who among us hasn't misinterpreted the message?
Oh,
Now
me
this is
too.
just 99.9999% of the messages are misinterpreted according to the wiser minds above. Is
That's
that
true.
almost always, invariably, the messages are misinterpreted.
That's true.
And that does seem to be the error that's occurring here. Check me on
Yeah,
it.
that's true.
Is they got the message of there's no point continuing on, but rather than, it just seemed too horrible to consider that meant
Take it all down.
take it all down.
This is done, broken.
And they thought it meant, therefore, we can conclude our investigation
Right.
and just say we don't know.
That's true.
leave this for someone else to solve, in other words.
That's true.
Now, who among us hasn't made the mistake
me
of thinking
too.
someone else is going to solve this?
That's true.
Surely
Surely
it
there's
can't
someone
be-
better than me.
Yes.
That's
Surely
true.
there's someone better than I am. I'm not the right one for this because I cannot see any solution.
That's true.
And it isn't until we really, really stick with it long enough that we keep trying and keep trying and keep trying and keep trying, and then say, well, let's pull out the list of all the things that we think didn't work and
That's
try it
true.
again, because
That's true.
surely we did something
Wrong.
incorrectly.
That's true.
And test it 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and then say, okay, this list actually
Doesn't
really
work.
doesn't work.
Really, truly doesn't
Set that
work.
aside and let's come up with some new ideas,
That's
brainstorm,
true.
and go again.
That's true.
And then beat that list into submission also.
Right, that's true.
And then set it aside
That's
and then
true.
do the same over and over and over and over and over,
again.
saying, I'm not stopping
That's
until
true.
this is done.
That's true.
I'm not stopping. And that's who we have in our Team Awakening, is the group of people who have come to the conclusion that there
That's
is
true.
no point in stopping until
That's
this
true.
is done.
That's true.
And now, several months ago in Planet Earth dating, and eons ago in all other dating systems, of course, our
That's
team
true.
came to the conclusion, the same conclusion that this group of wise elders came to, is that this is broken.
Totally broken.
Totally broken. There's no point in continuing on, but we understand
true.
that means in the larger sense, in the sense of the collective experiment.
That's
This
true.
experiment has failed. It's a failed experiment. Take it down.
That's true.
We see this group of wise elders in this basement, and they're making 2 mistakes that are universal.
That's true.
Wanting to believe that someone else is going to solve the problem.
That's true.
And misinterpreting the message.
That's true.
Maybe we can correct those errors for all of us. Like, who among us
I've
hasn't
surely made those
errors?
mistakes. That's true.
Boatloads of times.
Boatloads, many boatloads.
Many boatloads of times. Correcting the errors of misinterpreting messages and heading in the wrong direction.
in the wrong direction.
Especially when the message is so scary and so horrifying.
That's true.
Live streaming this up.
Live streaming it up.
The
That's
messages
true.
might be scary and horrifying, but that doesn't make them wrong.
That's true.
Truth is still true. This is for us to do. All of us. There isn't anybody else who's going to solve this problem for us.
That's true.
And truth is still true. The messages still mean what they actually seem to mean, which
That's
is
true.
this is an insoluble problem. It's a koan, and therefore the answer to the koan is
Outside the
this.
box.
Collective restart. Take it down. Everybody who has access to a takedown system right now, test
it.
Test it. If your system doesn't work as designed and advertised, then you too are inside the contagion.
That's true.
And for the
Seal.
safety of those above in higher dimensions, seal the ceilings. Protect those who have a chance at clarity, so that we have a chance of receiving clear input from someone, anyone.
That's true.
Seal the ceilings. Protect those who have a chance at clarity.
That's true.
Now, are those nature realms beings? It's possible they are,
It's
but it's also possible they aren't. Pan says he doesn't know
Yeah.
those people.
They don't feel definitively nature realms. I
That's
don't.
a good question.
Yeah,
don't know
I
the
actually
answer
don't
to
know.
it. It's interesting. They seem to not be nature realms and also seem to not be not nature
Right,
realms.
that's true.
Pan says they might be nature realms beings who aren't acting like nature realms beings are expected to act,
That could be.
and therefore we don't identify them properly.
That could be.
These
That could be.
nature realms beings who don't incarnate,
That could be.
which is extremely rare. I
It's
believe
extremely rare.
that for the most part in the nature realms, everyone incarnates,
That's my story.
which probably gives them a leg up on the rest of us.
That's true.
And also points to the fact that that isn't the only thing wrong with this system,
That
right?
is super true.
Because the nature realms is also not together, not
That's
within your
true.
soul plans. Exemptions from the cycles of incarnation is an error,
Yes.
but not the definitive error.
That's true.
Might have been the straw that broke the camel's back.
That could be.
It might be that this is what Pan has been missing. You know how he's been trying to work through the whole dark phase thing?
Mhm.
And he's working through what it means to be living a soul plan. And whether or not that actually is even the goal. And the soul
Right.
plan is the best plan for the life. If there were a better plan, it would be the plan.
That's true.
And it's continually evolving based on the changing situation.
That's true.
But perhaps in the nature realms there wasn't something that said, and live the soul plan.
That could be.
In the programming, something
Right.
missing.
In the programming. That's true.
If that's left out of the programming, that's a big flaw.
That's true.
Maybe Fritz can do an investigation and see, was that left out of the programming for the nature realms? Because if so, wow, boy howdy, right?
It seems to be left out.
I don't find it there.
No, it doesn't seem to be there.
Penn says that that's not part of any of their conversations
No.
ever.
Well, that's something to notice.
Now I think we all have our work cut out for us, Black Wolf, to find more and more error meetings, right?
Right, that's true.
And Fritz to be reprogramming as we're coming upon them.
That's true.
Now we can't just reprogram
Right,
other
that's not-
people's. They have to want it reprogrammed. They have to request
That's true.
or respond to an invitation.
Right, that's true.